Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A view from a large explosion out in Watford City, North Dakota, as crews try to figure out how to contain the blaze. A fire is burning so hot near Watford City that crews aren't even trying to put it out yet. At about 12:15, McKenzie County authorities reported a tank explosion at the White Owl saltwater disposal site. Again, that's in Watford City, and there have been more explosions since then. Officials on the scene say nobody has been hurt. Witnesses say they could feel the heat from that massive fire from about 2 blocks away. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to gather more information on this developing story. Fargo police are warning the public about a theft ring going on in the area. Police say it's called the Felony Lane Gang, and it's when thieves target public parking lots and break into vehicles. Authorities say there have been at least 12 cases related to this theft ring in Fargo alone. The thieves will walk through daycare, movie theater, or cemetery parking lots and bust into cars to take credit cards, cash, and IDs. You're reminded to not leave anything valuable in your car and cancel all credit or debit cards if you are a victim. We are happy to be above zero because that won't be the case for the next few days. Hutch, how's it looking this evening?
Well, temperatures are at 10 degrees for many in the Southern Valley as expected, 14 in Oaks, and it's a lot warmer in Aberdeen at 19 degrees. Single-digit readings near zero, though, along the international border down to Highway 2. Wind chills are very low up in the northern corners of our region as we see down to 20 below in Langdon. We have a wind chill advisory, includes Fargo, Grand Forks, Bemidji, Carrington, and Points North as we go through the overnight. We have clear skies up north, but clouds and a few flakes are falling down near the South Dakota border as a mix of wintry weather is expected as we go through the next few days. Your updated forecast for Fargo showing temperatures slipping below zero with winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll have wind chills between 25 and 40 below up north. So that's brutally cold. Again, we always throw this reminder out there, but a survival kit in your vehicle. And Andrea, just make sure there's something in that survival kit to stay warm with blankets, candles, and a lighter. Matches can really go a long way until you get some help. But we'll have details on how long our cold spell is going to last in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Yesterday, we ran a story about Concordia students' frustration with not receiving an alert Tuesday night to warn them of a man on the run near MSUM, possibly carrying a stolen gun. Concordia officials tell us they were only notified about a stolen car and didn't know about the gun until hours later, which is why they did not send an alert to students until over 12 hours later. Today, we sat down with Moorhead Police to find out who really was at fault. But they say it's no one, saying they called Concordia that night merely as a courtesy to keep them in the loop, adding that the incident happened over 10 blocks away from their campus. The officer we spoke with added the suspect fled on foot in the opposite direction, meaning Concordia students were in no danger whatsoever.
When we make that phone call, it's not that we don't have an expectation of messages coming out. Again, if we did a courtesy call every single time something was going on 10 blocks away from Concordia or from any other campus, students would get a message just about every single day.
Concordia students we spoke with say they still wish they would have been told what was going on since MSUM's campus is so close to theirs. There's a new challenge on social media called the 10-Year Challenge. It's asking you to post a picture of yourself from 10 years ago and one from this year, comparing how you've transformed through the years. But with every new trend comes a few red flags. Valley News Team's Maddie Jelseth tells us about the warnings that come with this challenge.
Experts are warning people who participated in this 10-year challenge that this fun picture collage might be used as part of a facial recognition algorithm, giving Facebook or different social media sites information they didn't have before, despite social media already having access to these photos. But the Moorhead Police Department disagrees that this challenge is part of a facial recognition algorithm.
The facial recognition piece is a theory. There's no factual basis on it. There's no testing of that information.
But for Rhett Mavity, who participated in this challenge, he says he's not shocked if that theory is true.
A lot of things that companies do and things that go on that people just don't realize or even know like what they're doing. So just kind of the world we live in.
A world where Red says he won't stop participating in fun challenges like this one.
I just did the challenge just because I thought it'd be interesting to actually look back and see, I guess, what I looked like or what I was doing 10 years ago.
The Moorhead Police Department wants to remind people to be careful about what they post on social media. In Moorhead, Maddie Joseph, Valley News Live.
Facebook has denied playing any role in this trend, saying it's a user-generated meme that went viral on its own. The company also reminded Facebook users they can turn facial recognition on or off at any time. The North Dakota legislature is considering a bill that would allow husbands and wives of veterans to be buried at the state Veterans Cemetery for free. Currently in North Dakota, both the veteran and spouse can be laid to rest at the Veterans Cemetery, but spouses are charged a burial fee. The bill being considered aims to take away that fee. There's a hearing on it tomorrow. Tribal flags are officially on display at the North Dakota Capitol, and today leaders of North Dakota's 5 tribes formally presented them to Governor Burgum in a ceremony. Representatives from each group presented their flag and gave an explanation of it. The flags were also blessed as they were set in front of the governor's office.
It's an honor to do this. I've been working on this for the last 8 years, and it's finally happening. So it's really an honor to be doing this for our nations.
Governor Burgum announced during his State of the State address that the flags would be displayed after legislation requiring them to remain on display failed several years in a row. A bill that would end blue laws in North Dakota has passed the House with a vote of 56 to 35. A number of lawmakers argued that repealing the law would not give people a chance to rest or go to church. Lawmakers who support the bill say the government should not be telling people when their businesses can be open, and also say that it wouldn't stop people from going to church or resting. The bill allows retail stores to open before noon on Sundays. Emotions ran high as a debate kicked off at the Minnesota State Capitol on whether the state should legalize recreational marijuana. John Croman reports.
So please, remove law enforcement from our personal health decisions. People want to be healthy.
It didn't start this way, but that's how it ended.
So don't sit up here and tell me that marijuana is not a tool that police officers use to attack black men.
Supporters of legalizing recreational pot decided to hijack the opposition news conference because of what was being said by people like Dakota County Attorney Jim Backstrom.
Marijuana is an addictive substance. The proponents of this legislation don't want to acknowledge this, and unfortunately most people in America are unaware of this.
Or Sandy Melville, who lost her son to a drunk driver.
Austin was killed by an impaired driver with a high BAC, THC, and cocaine in his bloodstream.
Or Dakota County Sheriff Tim Leslie.
And I think we have a really good medical marijuana program in Minnesota, so we can work through that.
Even after the press event wrapped up, proponents went back and forth with Kim Bemis, who heads the opposition to recreational pot.
My child did not go from marijuana to heroin. He went from my opiates to heroin.
Later, the backers held their own press conference and explained why they disrupted the other side's event.
My question is, why is it that you're not as angry as I am? Because it's not affecting your community.
Governor Tim Walz has said he supports legalizing recreational marijuana in Minnesota. Shopko stores have filed for bankruptcy and announced more stores will be closing. Shopko says debt and online competition are a couple of the issues it's facing. In North Dakota, Shopko stores in Rolla, Oaks, Lisbon, Mayville, and Beulah will close by mid-April. In Minnesota, the Warroad and Mahnomen stores will close. Some of the Shopko stores in Lakes Country have already sold off their pharmacies. Minnesota's state-run health insurance exchange has achieved a record number of sign-ups in its 6th open enrollment period. MNsure says over 123,000 Minnesotans signed up for private health coverage before open enrollment ended Sunday. That's nearly 400 more than the record set in the previous open enrollment period. In contrast, the MNsure CEO says there are lower sign-up numbers across the country and uncertainty about health coverage on the federal level. He says lower premiums, an extended open enrollment period, and an outreach program contributed to Minnesota's gains. Snowmobilers aren't letting the cold temperatures stop them from hitting lakes and trails. Every year, though, multiple riders are killed or injured while riding a snowmobile. So the Minnesota DNR has some safety reminders. They say to never drink and ride, always wear a helmet and proper clothing, drive slower at night, and be prepared for the unexpected. Always check local trail and ice conditions, and you must have a valid snowmobile safety certificate to operate a snowmobile in Minnesota.